Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd.
Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, your high desert community radio in Bend, Oregon. I hope you are having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community. That's our astrology program here on KPOV every Tuesday, 4:30 to 5 p.m., where we discuss the week's planetary and lunar influences, how we may be able to work within these cycles to be in harmony with the universe and create a more benevolent life for all. So thank you so much for making time and space in your day today to receive these messages. It is also you can get the archive of this program. Just want to remind you at kpov.org. If you need to re-listen throughout the week. So it is another really beautiful week in the astrology. Things are truly shifting. We have some big energy shifts this week. We also have a new moon in Sagittarius. We have Jupiter stationing to go direct and a conjunction between Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius. So big energies this week. And so we're going to, definitely get right into it. Today is, the first day of Sagittarius season. So here we go. We go into the last fire sign of the zodiac. Sagittarius represents the 9th house and comes right after Scorpio, which Scorpio is the second of the three water energies and is absolutely one of those seasons that helps us to gain the fuel that we are going to need to burn during this Sagittarius season in these Sagittarius fires that are all over the place. So whatever we have, dug up during the last month of Scorpio time, it is all blessed and it is all definitely meant to be up and dealt with, and Scorpio is also some really beautiful energy about just kind of like washing things clean and clear. And so we go into Sagittarius season now with a clear mind, and Sagittarius is all about future visions and creating these visions for the future. It's all about big ideas and grand visions, big ideas. And Sagittarius is definitely one of the more optimistic signs. You've got the ruling planet, Jupiter, for Sag. And we have lots and lots of fuel now to burn in this fire. And so the new moon happening this week on the 23rd, this is such a beautiful thing. I love just this natural cycle has just been that the new moons have been coming right at the first of when the sun moves into that next sign. So it's almost like a really good opportunity to utilize these energies, the best that we can by creating intentions around, what it is that we would like to bring in during this Sagittarius season. What is it that we are feeling we need more inspiration for? After all, fire signs are all about inspiration. It takes just one spark to create a fire. And fire signs, they know how to work with just one little spark. And so we have this opportunity, especially as I was mentioning, Sagittarius represents the 9th house. 9th house is all about divination, being in contact with God, being in contact with energy sources, being in contact with the creator. And so we have all of this really really beautiful, energy just moving into Sagittarius season to create new intentions about this spark, what it is that we're going to be working with over the next month. Fire signs are all about intuition also. And so we talk a lot about, in Sagittarius season, we talk a lot about religion and spirituality and just kind of like even higher education, all of that ruled by Sagittarius. And absolutely this contact with the divine and the intuition, that it takes to allow those divine messages to come through. You have to be like kind of a clear void. If you have the rumbling waves of the ocean of which we just kind of came from, out of those scorpionic waves that we were going up and over and really fighting. Now we have an energy that is we've worked for that. We've gotten here, and now we're ready to create that long-term vision to work with whatever it is, has come up. We just got through the last eclipse cycle, so Scorpio season was extra intense because we have the South Node at 12 degrees right now of Scorpio, and so we are still going to be working with, releasing things within the realms of Scorpio, and so that's why it was so strong, and that's why this movement into Sagittarius feels like such a shift this week. Other things, Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so we've got also moving from the fixed energies of Scorpio to immutable energy, which is like, all about kind of being okay with making changes, being flexible, being able to be flexible and to be okay with things maybe not going exactly according to plan. That's the mutable energy, being able to just kind of move about, the mutable fire, so we kind of spread our flame all over when it's Sag season. And, being ruled by the sign of Jupiter makes Sagittarius energy very big. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system that we know of, and that is very powerful. We listened last week to the planetary sound, caught by NASA. We have these like big meditation moments with the big energy of Jupiter, and this is something that I definitely recommending to continue to work with, because as of the 23rd of November, Jupiter is stationing direct on the same day as this new moon at 1 degree of Sagittarius. And this is just really divine to me. Of course it's divine. It's all happening in Sag season, and Jupiter is a planet that helps us to see things bigger, to make the energies bigger, kind of expand it out. We are looking at a huge opportunity for expansion. Jupiter is stationing direct on the 23rd of November, and so that is the day when we have basically stillness. We have stillness with Jupiter. It's not moving backwards. It's not moving forwards. We're not looking to the past. We're not looking to the future. We're just really stoked on this right now moment. Jupiter has it can tend to, overexpand or cause folks or us to overindulge in, energies, or overindulge in substances, or overindulge in, food or whatever. We can pretty much overindulge in just about anything. And so when Jupiter's energy is really big and really, hot, we have that that opportunity, there to really push the boundaries, and will do that. But right now, Jupiter's still, so we can use this still moment to really, really create some of that long-term vision that we are just about to jump into and work with for the next month during Sagittarius season. So this is Stacey Dredd, your galactic ambassador in the cosmic community. I got 4 all over my clocks here. And thanks so much for being tuned in to KPOV. We do have some kind of mixed bag energies this week. We have this really expansive opportunity of this new moon in Sagittarius. It's at 1 degree of Sagittarius. So you look and see where that is in your personal birth chart, and you can see if that's making any aspects to anywhere else in your chart that may, be giving you a clue on what this new moon may be about for you. What house is Sagittarius in your chart, and how does that correlate to things that are happening in your life? And then the mixed bag energy is because we have this really, really strong square between Mars retrograde at about 22 degrees of Gemini, and also that is in a square to Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 22 degrees. So that is an extremely tight square. It's been forming. They're both retrograde. Mars is going to push past Neptune and continue to move back. I think we go all the way back to like 5 degrees of Gemini or something. We are not done with this Mars retrograde until January or March of next year. And so Mars retrograde will continue on. Mars retrograde in Gemini is all about taking a moment to rest and relax around Gemini themes, which are Gemini is a very social sign. Gemini is all about friends and, soulmates and partners and partnerships. So we may be feeling like kind of relaxing some things in our partnerships, or, retrogrades are all about redoing things or reinvigorating, or any word that starts with RE is part of the retrograde cycle. So we've got Mars, the planet that is usually it is the planet of our warrior spirit. And I say usually because, in retrograde, that is when the energies are sort of dimmed. We're actually taking a chance to go back and sort of review some of these areas, which is actually this, whole sign of Gemini, basically. We're going back. Mars is going back to take a look at, what needs to be redone, and then we'll have the opportunity as soon as Mars goes direct to make those changes. And Gemini also it's an air sign, so it's all about changes. Mars is the planet of our body. This is our physical body, so we might be feeling like we're going through some changes in our physical body, and we are needing to sort of go back and go back over some of our health routine or something how are we feeding our body? What are we giving our body? We need to go back and check on the health and make some changes, that Gemini, the air sign, can really, really help us make some pretty good leaps. Also Gemini is all about gaining knowledge. So we could be going back, really doing some research, trying to figure out what is going to be most effective for our physical body, our warrior spirit moving forward. Well, this Mars retrograde is in this tight square right now with Neptune retrograde. Neptune is going to be stationing direct here in just a week and a half on the 3rd of December. So Neptune has just about retrograded back to the point of which just kind of sitting still also. So we've got Jupiter stationing direct today on November 22nd. And then in a week and a half, Neptune slowing down and being in that really stopped position also. This is an interesting energy for Mars to be in contact with. So Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces have been about our intuition. It's been about what we need to finish. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac, represents the endings that we need to make to move into Aries again, the first sign to start those new cycles. So we have been making some extreme efforts to close old cycles in our lives. And with Jupiter being there, it's been big. It's been like this big, expansive thing. We've been like really, really going over it. And now Mars retrograde has come into contact and will, again, we have not actually seen the last of this cycle because Mars will go back retrograde some more. And then when Mars turns direct again, we'll make the third and final pass over Neptune and Jupiter again in that tight square. So this is just a developing thing, and we are continuing to watch this Mars retrograde. I was mentioning also that we have Venus and Mercury in a conjunction this week in Sagittarius. And at the new moon on the 23rd of November, this is also a very tight conjunction. It's right around 9-10 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is a good thing for charisma, for conversation, for sparking conversation, since we're in the sign of Sagittarius, for really getting at it, doing the old fireside chat. Venus in Sagittarius is, pretty charismatic. Mercury in Sagittarius gets a little bit of a bad rap. I think that we're going to be okay because we've got Venus right there to kind of hold Mercury's hand and say, hey, when things get a little over the top, or if Mercury gets into some over-exaggerated mode during this new moon or during this whole Sagittarius season over the next couple weeks while Venus and Mercury are moving together through Sag, there could be some, let's just say, larger than life communication, because Sagittarius, represented by the planet of Jupiter, is expansive. It's big. And one of the shadowy sides of Sagittarius, and I can talk about the shadowy sides of Sagittarius because I have a lot of Sagittarius energy in my chart, is that there is a bit of exaggeration. Sagittarius energy can be over-exaggerated. It can be too much. It can be too much for a lot of people. It can just be this really big burning flame that just kind of it's a little blinding. So that's something that Sagittarians and Sagittarius energy continually teaches us, right? That yes, there is this much available to us, but we don't want to go too over the top. There are ways of speaking, going back to the Mercury and the Venus together in Sag. There are ways of speaking and having a balance between what Venus represents, like your charisma and kind of your ability to be charismatic and speak really nice. And then Mercury, just that ability to communicate. That these energies, are going to be balancing each other out. And that's what we continually will learn over the next couple weeks is, how to present things, how to continue to work with the way that we communicate, to make sure that we're getting the message across that we want to. Sometimes we are and I do this all the time because I'm a Sag and I get really excited about stuff and I go really excited and And, a lot of people, like, I think there's like kind of some science behind when you're too excited, like it's hard to hear what people are saying, so there's that over the top, thing that can then get into causing more like an inability to communicate. And so finding that balance in there, is really, really important. This new moon is happening just at the very top of Sag season. So, making some intentions around this new moon this week. How can we, continue to expand our ability to have balance, right? I mean, we can expand balance also. It doesn't have to be expansion for expansion's sake. Like, let's expand, our ability to be understanding and tolerant, right? And so, hey, if you are in the energy of like, hey, sometimes I'm like a bad communicator and I need like a little spark to communicate something, and that's like really good for me. This is the time to step up and allow this energy to spark you and to say what you need to say, and to if you're somebody who, maybe holds back, this overindulgent energy can be really good for getting something out, for expressing, if we've been waiting for this moment to have this big expression, this Venus and Mercury are going to really, really balance each other out, so we can make sure that we are communicating exactly what we need to be communicating to the people around us. So, that's kind of like the end of November. Next week when I come back on Tuesday at 4:30 for the Cosmic Community next week, we will have made it through this new moon. We'll be a week into Sag season. There will also be my monthly breakdown for December next week. So we'll break down the month of December, what we're kind of looking at as far as the entire month. Of course, we've got I mentioned Neptune stationing direct. We'll get more into that. And then also the full moon on December 7th. So, I guess until then, you can always access the archive to this program at kpov.org to re-listen or to share it out with folks. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here on community radio, and just seeing the guys before me on Rhythm Trip. Adam and Preet were in here, and they transformed this little studio like I'd never seen it before. So cool. I love people being comfortable and making things work for them, and that just felt so fresh and creative, and I loved coming into that. So anyways, the gals after me with the All Things Vegan program should come on, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.